All right. Motorcycle tires are directional, so I know that this is left-hand drive and my brake rotor is up, so this wheel would turn clockwise if it were on the bike. I kind of clean this up a little bit. That's good enough. That'll give me a good seal. So now I get my tire with my arrow, my directional arrow. It is pointed the right way, and there's a dot that lines up with the valve stem. The dot doesn't really make that big of a difference, but it does make it balance up a little easier. This tire's cold from being outside. That's what's going on. A little stiff, but not bad. Dots lined up. And we're on the beach. Now we want 40 psi. going to be that kind of day. That's why I keep a magnet in my pocket. Wheel bearings are good. Something was making happy sounds. Everything's good there. So it wants weights. I'm going to peel off all the existing weights. This is plastic, so it's not going to scratch up my wheel. Now we'll give her a check spin. And I'm not going to chase a 1/4 ounce. You're not going to feel that, especially in the rear wheel. So we're good. There it is. New tire mounted on the wheel. It's ready to go in the bike. All right, on with the next phase of the repair videos. We're going to mount the rear wheel into the bike. I hope I've got the cameras set up so you can pretty well see what I'm doing. And I'll probably have to shuffle cameras around a little bit during this process as well. But hopefully it comes out good. We'll see what happens. All right, the axle goes in from the left side, and I want to kind of wipe this off, put a fresh coat of anti-seize on it. You can use any grease, just anti-seize is kind of the preferred option. You don't need much of this stuff. Just a light coat on the entire axle. Just a little bit in these dust seals. These are old school wheels, so they've got old school conical style bearings. They're not a new sealed bearing like you'd find on a new bike. So they might be a pain in the ass to line up. But now I can put my wheel seals in. Goes this way. Or sorry, wheel spacers. Roll this guy in. Here's my belt. That'll hold it for me for a second. Spacer still needs to be in there. So I gotta raise the jack so I can get the panel back in the lift. That should be enough. That's the one thing I like about lifts that work a little bit better than this one, is that the way the dropout panels work. Here's the correct one. Now we just let the bike down over the wheel. Just like so. And come down just a little more. They should slide right through nice. You should not have to beat them in with a hammer. Although on this side I may have to get a little aggressive with my ooh. There we go. The swing arm got pinched quite a bit by being over torqued. So it might be a little tough to get that axle through the slack adjuster. I still don't want to beat it with a hammer. I might just have to though. But I really don't want to. I think I'll give that slack adjuster a little tap. Just gently. There we go, that's freed up a little better. Well, I guess I lied. We had to beat it with a hammer. Now the torque on this is only 65 foot-pounds. So the problem here was that these had been over-torqued pretty badly, and it squeezed this tube and didn't want to let my slack adjusters move. I really hate hitting them with a hammer, but sometimes that's what you have to do. So let's get my brake put back together. There we go. Stick that guy back on. And for these pins, I always use silicone paste. If you use anti-seize on those pins, they'll get stuck. So a silicone paste, like dielectric grease, although just regular silicone paste that doesn't say dielectric grease on it, even though it's the same thing, is a little bit cheaper. And that stuff doesn't harden and dry out. And it doesn't seize up your brake caliper. And a normal chassis grease type grease won't last long in there. It dries out. The heat from the brakes kind of cooks it. So you don't want to use that either. foot-pounds. Oh, that's too long. Let's thread that. Oops, that was 22. So we'll bring this one up to 22 as well. I feel like that's pretty low for these because the new ones want like 40 foot-pounds on those, which seems high. And the front brake usually torques at something like 28 to 38, and I usually torque them at 32. All right, so we need to center the axle in addition to adjusting our belt slack. So I don't have the fancy tool, but I've got a wire hanger and an O-ring. So you bend your wire hanger so it'll go into this little hole. And you move your O-ring to where the middle of the axle is. And you make it the same on both sides. Bam, instant axle alignment tool. So let's see if our belt guard will go on here. There we go, there's our belt guard. And this little bolt goes in this other hole. And unfortunately, I don't have any ratchet wrenches here because they're at work. And that's nice and tight. So that belt's way too loose right now, so we're just going to bring that back a little. And it doesn't take much to make it go from too loose to too tight. And you can hear a little rattle and wobble in there because my axle's not tight yet. Now there's a tool and you're supposed to put 10 pounds and get like about 3/8 of an inch of travel. I'm just going to do this by feel. You're supposed to find the tight spot in the belt too. But it's hard to find the tight spot when the belt's too loose. There's my tight spot. So now we do this with the weight of the bike on the tire. Because the belt will actually be looser when the bike is on it. I like to give it a little bounce. Okay. That's just a little on the tight side. That's just a touch loose. That feels about right. So now let's make sure my axle's centered. And that's good there. This side has to come forward just a touch. Beauty. Now I can torque that axle. And axle center again. And then my belt tension is way too tight. That happens sometimes. So crack her loose. Let's go. These can go back in the toolbox. There's a quarter turn. There's a quarter turn. Gives that a push. Belt tension still a little tight. There's a quarter turn. There's a quarter turn. Give that another push. Now we're just a touch loose. About that much. And about that much. That feels pretty good, and I think it'll tighten up again a little bit when we tighten the axle. Yeah, that's about right. So now we can torque it. And that's good. And our pinhole even lines up. Look at that. And there we go. But just for fun, we'll double check that our axle is lined up straight too. That's right in the middle of my axle. And we're right in the middle on this side too. And now it's time to clean up because I have to go to work and do this shit for a paycheck.